PSG Academy graduate who left Paris to test his own ability, who's now averaging a goal or assist every 116 minutes. Meet the 22-year-old who's been shortlisted by Liverpool and never been injured? Nope, it's not Florian Wirtz, Bayer Leverkusen's other starter. A video will come for him soon. But today, we're giving some much needed love and attention to Moussa Diaby. Over the next 10 minutes-ish, let me talk you through the man who was officially named the most promising player in the PSG Academy, who grew up close friends with the son of the president of Liberia, who has now also finally broken through to the impenetrable French national team. Let's profile one of my truly favourite players, Moussa Diaby. Like Pogba, Martial, Coleman, Mbappe, Areola, Bakayoko, Diaby grew up in the home of football, Paris. Tried so hard to sound French there. Paris. Or Paris. In the words of Paul Pogba, whether it's at school or outside in the neighbourhood, everyone will play soccer. And that helps people to not stay in the neighbourhood doing nothing and doing stupid things. Every day it's the ball and that's all there is. Little is known about Diaby's early childhood, except the fact he grew up in a family that dates back to the 19th century. What we do know is that Diaby liked to play football in and around playgrounds, and he was picked up age 10 by Espérance Paris. They're basically a Paris-wide footballing group, and that happened in 2009. And it's just hit me that Diaby's 1 month younger than me. I'm sitting here making videos about him while he's just earned my yearly salary in that 4-second period. Anyway, what separates Diaby from most French talent is that he was poached by PSG in 2013. He near instantaneously became a star, and he even says today how much he loved every single minute of it. He grew up close friends with Timothy Weah, who is the son of the Liberian president, George Weah. Heralding from a West African nation, Weah is probably more well known from his playing career at AC Milan, PSG, and from the Ultimate Team on FIFA. His son Tim was currently at Lille, and he was one of the smaller cogs in their title victory last season. At this point in our story though, the pair were just simply close friends in the PSG Academy, in the same age group as Stanley Onsocki and Yassine Adli. Diaby was clearly the standout though, as in 2016, age 16, he was handed the Titi d'Or Award, a prestigious award given by PSG to their own academy player, who is labelled the most promising talent in the setup. Past winners include Kingsley Coman, Odsonne Edouard, Yassine Adli, and more recent ones to look out for Tanguy Nianzou, Arthur Zagram, and Arnaud Kalimwendo. By age 17, Diaby was playing in the prestigious UEFA Youth League, basically the Youth Champions League for PSG's under-19s. Quite hilariously, in the 16-17 season, they were eliminated 5-0 on aggregate by Salzburg in the round of 16. But in the group stages, I actually managed to catch some highlights against Arsenal's under-19s, and you can see Diaby from this young age is already being played off the left wing. I mention this because Diaby's a left-footed player, and generally you see those played off the right, so it makes his unique position what we have seen in recent years. It traces it back a number of years back to his PSG days. Across 2 seasons in the UEFA Youth League, Diaby contributed 8 goals and assists in 13 matches. This form got him a loan to Crotone in the second half of the 17-18 season in Serie A. Not in Serie A for long though, because they were relegated that season, and Diaby only made 2 league appearances. In fact, he does speak about how much he originally struggled when he first moved to Italy. He didn't speak the language, and he said at first he did feel quite alone, but luckily Crotone got him a language teacher and started teaching him some tactical work in Italy. When compared with our last player biography in Noni Madueke, it's interesting how Madueke's successful emigration to PSV basically went off without a hitch, but Diaby kind of suffered some more, respectable issues. He came back to Paris in the summer of 2018, seeking another loan move. However, Thomas Tuchel, newly in charge, directly talked him out of it. The European champion said that he had full confidence in Diaby's ability and did want to use him throughout the campaign. The then 19-year-old was interviewed in January about this, and not only did he come out and say that he was inspired by Tuchel's belief, but also surprised about the game time he got. In the 18-19 Ligue 1 season, Diaby played over 1,000 minutes, basically equivalent to 1190s, and he contributed to 8 goals in that time. What I like about Diaby especially is his match intelligence and his willingness to learn, and we could see a bit of this in that interview at the time I was previously referring to. He said in this season with PSG, he took a lot of advice from Neymar, and under the advice of his colleagues, he was told to pay close attention to Julian Draxler to understand how to move in between defensive lines. He finished his last interview with club media in that season saying, "I come from Paris, I have always lived in Paris, and I play for Paris. So, why leave?" Shortly after moving to Bayer Leverkusen in 2019, Diaby spoke out to French media about his decision to leave the capital. He kind of pointed it down to two reasons. He said he wanted to stay in Paris, but he needed more opportunities. With Neymar in his way, there was just a massive block for his left-wing position. Young players could often feel like they're rushing their urge for playing time. I mean, see Phil Foden, he's been patient, but Moussa Diaby, it's worth remembering, was 20 years old at this time, and Erling Haaland turned 21 just this year in 2021. Interestingly though, Diaby actually found life in Germany quite irritating at first. He found a few issues in the training sessions under Peter Bosz and was frustrated why he missed 6 out of the first 10 match days in the Bundesliga. He also struggled with the language barrier, only able to speak French to Bosz, Jonathan Tah, and later Tapsoba. But gradually through the 1920 season, Diaby improved, and it earned him a call up to the French under-21 national team. Obviously for any other national team that wouldn't mean anything, but look at this squad. It was also an important signal from the French national setup because Diaby has Malian descent, which means he could have gone on to play for the African country if he didn't receive opportunities for his home nation. Diaby previously played off the left under Peter Bosz for Leverkusen. Last season there, he averaged 2.15 dribbles completed per 90 at a 46% success rate. Defensively, he didn't pressure too much though, averaging just 10 pressures per 90, 5 less than Mane did. However, Diaby did create 11 big chances for his teammates, which got him 10 assists in the 2021 Bundesliga. However, what has been missing is his goal scoring. He converted just 8% of his shots last season into goals. This year though, under Gerardo Soan, the new coach, he's already at 4 goals with his goal conversion up at 29%, and he's actually playing at right wing, cutting inside onto his left foot. Diaby has stood out to me since the UK lockdown when I looked on who scored at football stats for left wingers in the Bundesliga, and he just flew off the page. I think he's a scary talent, mainly because of his both-footed ability. There's a stat given to players, a percentage for how often they use either foot with the ball. And Diaby's score is that he uses his left foot 71% of the time, which may sound like quite a lot, but most players generally go above 85%. I mean, I think Neymar will be above that. So Diaby really is pretty talented on both feet. And this season in 21-22, his finishing has been elite. I mean, whether it was the thunderbolt against Union Berlin or his right-footed finish against Dortmund, it's no wonder he's outperforming his expected goals. It's no fluke, he's just a very good finisher. What I like about him is his match intelligence too. I think his pace and his dribbling ability is well covered, but I like how quickly he processes things at a high speed and how quickly he can change direction when moving at top speed. This has earned him his first senior appearances for the full French national setup, which if the under-21s is impenetrable, this is like getting to the holy grail of football. So where next for Diaby? Well, Leverkusen obviously have a lot of high-profile talents, mainly Florian Wirtz. However, I think he'll stay in Germany for a bit longer because of his young age. Diaby, though, is getting to that time where a move seems a bit more possible. I can see a move to Liverpool, and it's not just because of the recent links. Diaby is as dynamic as Sadio Mane, and though his goal-scoring numbers haven't peaked quite yet, there's clearly evidence he's going to be a fantastic finisher. Although I think Liverpool will have to pay more than that 35 million value on Transfermarkt. But with Mane 30 years old next April, there is time to bed Diaby in. I'm not saying Mane is done, but generally after 30 years old, we do see wingers' physical abilities begin to decline. That gives Diaby, if he was to move next summer, maybe a 2 to 3 year window where he can alternate with the Senegalese winger and find time on Liverpool's left wing. That will make sense as well because next summer Diaby will be 23 years old, which is the time where his body will begin to peak physically. So yeah, Jurgen Klopp, get him in. Now let's rank him. Last time on Player Biographies, I gave Noni Madueke a 9 out of 10. That's because I'm famously harsh with these things. And on that note, because Diaby hasn't scored over 10 league goals in a season, I can't give him a 9 out of 10, but I will comfortably give him an 8. Not just because those assist numbers make up for the lack of goal scoring, also because genuinely, watching Bayer Leverkusen nearly every week at the moment, I'm so excited to watch Diaby play. He's an electric footballer, and I can't wait to see what he does next. If you liked this video, please subscribe, it would really help me out. I'm doing a lot more of these biographies, whether it's players, managers, Daniel Levy's. People really like these videos, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Bye bye!